Look at any major city development plan from London to Los Angeles right now. You'll see something shocking. They're all copying the same Malaysian blueprint. The one we perfected 30 years ago right here in Kuala Lumpur. And most of us walk past it every single day without realizing we're looking at urban planning genius that changed the world. Before we dive into how KLCC became the template that Western cities are now desperately trying to replicate, let me ask you something. If this video helps you see our city differently, hit that like button. And if you're proud of what Malaysia achieved here, drop a comment saying where you're watching from. It genuinely helps this channel reach more Malaysians who love learning about our country's hidden impact on the world. Assalamu alaikum. Let's go back to 1991. Kuala Lumpur just lost its status as the world's tin capital. The mines were closing. We needed to reinvent ourselves completely. Dr. Mahathir had this audacious vision. Build something so ambitious that the world would have no choice but to take Malaysia seriously. But here's what nobody tells you about KLCC. The genius wasn't just building tall towers. It was the secret formula hidden beneath those towers. Western planners are calling it vertical integration meets horizontal accessibility. We just called it common sense. You see, Caesar Pelli designed the Petronas towers to be icons. Everyone knows that. But the real revolution was happening at ground level. Architect Hisham al-Bakri worked on something nobody had successfully done before. He created a district where you could live, work, shop, pray, exercise, and entertain yourself without ever needing a car. In 1998, before smartphones, before anyone was talking about 15-minute cities, walk through KLCC today. Really pay attention. Within a 10-minute radius, you've got office towers housing thousands of workers, luxury condos where people actually live, a world-class shopping center, a mosque, a park with jogging tracks, a convention center, a science museum, a concert hall, an aquarium, hotels, restaurants, all seamlessly connected by covered walkways and underground passages. You can walk from Surya KLCC to the park to KLCC Convention Center without feeling the sun. Sound obvious now? It wasn't in the 1990s. Most cities kept everything separate. Business districts emptied out at night. Residential areas had no offices. Shopping was isolated in suburban malls. You needed a car for everything. We were building car-dependent sprawl just like everyone else. Then KLCC said no, we're putting it all together. The numbers tell the story. KLCC covers just 100 acres. That's smaller than many shopping malls. Yet it generates over RM5 billion in economic activity annually. During peak hours, over 200,000 people move through this district daily. That's nearly the entire population of Ipoh, concentrated in an area you can walk across in 15 minutes. The density is insane, but it works. Here's where it gets interesting. Hudson Yards in New York City opened in 2019. Cost $25 billion US. The developers studied KLCC extensively. They copied our mixed-use model. Offices, residences, shopping, public space, all stacked and integrated. King's Cross in London did the same thing. Their redevelopment project explicitly referenced KLCC as inspiration. Same with Canary Wharf's expansion. Even Dubai's downtown district around Burj Khalifa follows the KLCC blueprint almost exactly. But here's what they're really copying. The Malaysian secret sauce. We understood something about tropical urbanism that Western planners missed. In hot, humid climates, you can't just copy New York or London. People won't walk if they're getting drenched in rain or scorched by sun. So KLCC created what urban planners now call climate-responsive connectivity. Every major pathway has cover. Overhead bridges link buildings. Underground passages connect destinations. The park itself has tree cover specifically planned for shade. You're always protected. Think about your last visit to KLCC Park. Those carefully placed trees, positioned to create maximum shade during peak sun hours. The lake? Not just aesthetic. It's cooling the air through evaporation. The water features throughout the complex? They're dropping ambient temperature by several degrees. Western cities are now hiring Malaysian consultants to teach them these techniques, because their old playbook doesn't work anymore. Climate change is making their cities hotter. They need tropical solutions. The LRT integration was another masterstroke. KLCC station wasn't an afterthought. It was designed into the complex from day one. Direct underground access to Surya KLCC. Covered walkways to the towers. You can commute from anywhere on the Kelana Jaya line and reach your office without stepping outside. In 1998, this was revolutionary. Now every major development claims to be transit-oriented. We were doing it before the term was popular. Ever noticed how KLCC never feels empty? Unlike most business districts that become ghost towns after office hours. That's intentional design. The residential towers ensure people are around all day. The shopping center stays open until 10 p.m. Restaurants operate late. The park is active from 5 a.m. joggers to midnight strollers. This 24-hour vitality is what planners call temporal diversity. It's now considered essential for successful urban districts. We figured it out through trial and error. Remember when KLCC Park opened and everyone said we were wasting valuable land? Property developers wanted to build more towers. Critics called it economically inefficient. But Mahathir insisted. He understood something crucial. Public space isn't wasted space. It's the glue that makes everything else work. That 50-acre park is why KLCC thrives. It gives people a reason to come beyond just transactions. You're not just shopping or working. You're experiencing a place. Western developers are learning this the hard way. Hudson Yards built everything except meaningful public space. Now it feels sterile. Nobody lingers. King's Cross almost made the same mistake until they created Granary Square. They're retrofitting public spaces into developments that were designed without them. We put the park at the center from the beginning. Here's something most Malaysians don't realize. The Petronas towers aren't actually the tallest part of KLCC's innovation. The underground city is. 6 levels of parking, retail, services, and infrastructure hidden beneath the surface. This freed up ground level for people instead of cars. The entire district has only a few surface parking spots. Everything else is underground or in podiums. This vertical separation of functions is now standard in modern urban planning. In the 1990s, it was radical. The mosque placement shows sophisticated cultural integration. It's not hidden away. It's right there next to the park, visible from the towers, accessible from the shopping center. Western planners studying KLCC are learning how to integrate religious and cultural spaces into modern developments without segregation. The mosque serves office workers, shoppers, residents, and park visitors simultaneously. Multifunctional infrastructure. Let's talk money. KLCC property values have appreciated over 400% since completion. Offices rent for RM12 to RM18 per square foot. Condos sell for RM1,500 to RM3,000 per square foot. These are Singapore-level prices in Kuala Lumpur. Why? Because KLCC delivers something rare. Complete urban convenience. You pay premium prices for integrated living. Western developers are chasing these same premiums. The environmental numbers are surprising too. Despite massive density, KLCC has lower per capita carbon emissions than typical suburban developments. Why? Reduced car dependency, shared infrastructure, centralized systems. The district uses 30% less energy per person than equivalent suburban arrangements. This efficient density is exactly what cities need for climate targets. We built it before climate change was front-page news. But here's what they're copying most aggressively now. The financial model. KLCC was built through public-private partnership before PPPs were common. Petronas provided land and vision. Private developers built and operated commercial components. The government handled infrastructure and public space. This risk-sharing model is now the template for major urban projects worldwide. The KLCC development plan is literally taught in urban planning schools from Harvard to London School of Economics. Think about the timing, too. We built KLCC during the Asian financial crisis. When the ringgit crashed in 1997, construction didn't stop. We pushed through. The Petronas towers topped out in 1998, right when everyone thought Malaysia was finished. That resilience impressed the world more than the height. Western developers saw that integrated mixed-use developments are crisis-resistant. Diversified revenue streams. Multiple tenant types. Residential and commercial balance. When one sector struggles, others compensate. The pedestrian bridges connecting KLCC to Bukit Bintang through Pavilion. That came later, but it's extending the KLCC model, creating continuous walkable urbanism across central KL. Now you can walk from Bank Negara to Pavilion to KLCC to TRX, mostly undercover. This pedestrian network is becoming one of the most extensive in Southeast Asia. Cities like Bangkok and Manila are studying it. Look at what's happening now. TRX is basically KLCC 2.0. Same principles. Mixed-use integration. Transit connectivity. Public space emphasis. Climate-responsive design. But bigger and more ambitious. Western developers are watching TRX like hawks, because we're refining the formula we invented. Here's the beautiful irony. We built KLCC partly by studying Western cities. Borrowed ideas from New York's Rockefeller Center, London's Canary Wharf, Chicago's Magnificent Mile. But we adapted everything for tropical climate and Malaysian context. Now those same Western cities are studying what we created. The student became the teacher. So next time you're walking through KLCC, look around differently. Those covered walkways? International urban planning innovation. That park. Teaching Western cities how to integrate green space. The mixed-use density? Template for climate-resilient development. The towers? Sure, they're iconic. But the real genius is everything holding those towers up. We built something in Kuala Lumpur that changed how the world thinks about cities. And most of us just think it's a nice place to shop. That's the most Malaysian thing ever. Creating world-class innovation and being humble about it. If this changed how you see KLCC, smash that subscribe button. Drop a comment about your favorite part of KLCC. And next time someone dismisses Malaysian achievements, remind them that Western developers are literally copying our homework. We've been writing the future of cities for 30 years. The world is just